Good afternoon. I'm Rick Marshall, the president of VerticalGeo. We are a service-disabled veteran-owned small business in O'Fallon, Illinois, specializing in the creation and integration of geospatial data. This presentation provides an overview of the VerticalGeo UAS Mapping Portal. How many times have you thought about finding an equally powerful but less expensive alternative to overpriced UAS imagery processing software? We believe VerticalGeo's UAS Mapping Portal is a great alternative to overpriced proprietary UAS orthophotography software like DroneDeploy, Pix4D, and Maps Made Easy. We were a DroneDeploy and Pix4D user for about 5 years, and then the pricing and licensing for both software platforms just got too expensive for what they were offering. So 2.5 years ago, we started testing OpenDroneMap on our physical server. We were very impressed with what it could do, and we decided to use it as the technology backbone to build a more cost-effective software platform. We think we hit the target with the UAS Mapping Portal. We've been using it exclusively for the last 2.5 years, and we've built several options that can either be installed on an existing server or network assigned storage or your cloud-based storage system, or you can even purchase a subscription to a turnkey no-hassle system. As I mentioned, VerticalGeo is a small GIS and UAS services company, and as a small business, we're constantly looking for the best ways to get value for our dollar. And just as important, we're looking for the right fit for our workflow. We aren't computer programmers, we're UAS pilots. So just like you, we're not interested in anything complicated. We only wanted to build something very simple that works. The UAS Mapping Portal presents a user-friendly, web-based interface for processing, visualizing, storing, analyzing, and sharing your UAS collected orthophotography. We created this platform for the user, not for the programmer. Last year, we decided to move off our physical server and moved all of our data and software from our server to the Microsoft Azure cloud. We were already using the VerticalGeo UAS Mapping Portal on our server, but this gave us the opportunity to develop the version of the mapping portal we always wanted. So we incorporated several more of our requirements into it, and now we run the system on our cloud storage system. The good news is it works even better in the cloud than it did on our physical server. Our UAS mapping portal is very simple and works well. As I mentioned, we've been using it for the past 2.5 years and are very happy with it. We can provide it to customers in 3 different ways. The least costly way is if you already have a physical server or a cloud-based storage system or the right type of a network assigned storage, we can install the UAS mapping portal on your existing system. If you're migrating away from a server or need a full cloud-based storage system, we can build one for you and install the UAS mapping portal on the new system. And if you're a small business or a new business and you don't have a server and can't afford one, we can install the UAS mapping portal in a small 1 terabyte cloud-based solution with capabilities similar to DroneDeploy as an affordable monthly subscription, which we can expand as you grow. So why would you want to use the UAS mapping portal? Well, it has lots of capability and it's coupled with a great interface. The UAS mapping portal is easy to use, and we bring you more capability at less than half the price of DroneDeploy and Pix4D. The documentation is very robust and well written. We have differing levels of security. I know everybody defines security in different ways, whether it's physical security or IT security. They might It's just defined differently for different people. So we work extensively teaching Part 107, the FAA certification, commercial certification course to emergency responders. And they're very concerned with data security and may not want to share the data with others due to the levels of personal information involved and security involved. They may find it more beneficial to use their own server and maintain a simple chain of custody by hosting their own data. Whereas a small business focusing on UAS services or a young company starting out may not have the resources to purchase or maintain their own server, so it might make sense for them to choose a simple turnkey solution. Licensor restrictions is another big advantage to the mapping portal. The software industry makes money by selling software. So it's in their best interest to require you to purchase as much software as possible to accomplish your task. They do this by severely restricting their licensing. Our local municipality must purchase separate proprietary GIS software licenses for their public works department and their Board of Education. They can't share licenses between the two. But with the VerticalGeo UAS Mapping Portal, there's no restriction on sharing the license or the imagery with others. You can have as many users as you want. You're only limited to the amount of users that your administrator wants to manage. With the UAS Mapping Portal, if you want to, you can start a UAS services cooperative in your area and share the expense for a system between several businesses if that's your desire. Proprietary software like DroneDeploy and Pix4D places a limit on the number of users that you can have, and typically their limit is 1 user. So it's hard to share licenses without breaking the software licensing agreement. But the UAS mapping portal allows you to share your imagery freely with whoever you want and your licenses with whoever you want. And it's easy to share your imagery through the public viewer or through downloads. Here's a list of a few of the capabilities of the VerticalGeo UAS mapping portal. You can see they're very similar to Pix4D and DroneDeploy. This list is just a list of the capabilities that come with the measurement tool included in the mapping portal. It has a very robust measuring tool. So the first project is a church overview map from 2023. I thought we would share a couple of recent projects with you so you can see the look and feel of the user interface, and then look at the deliverable product with the VerticalGeo UAS mapping portal. The first is a church overview project from May of 2023. We had very few requirements. We just needed a simple map for a church business meeting. So we used a bidirectional flight path, no type of a crosshatched pattern. We collected minimal amount of photos just to be able to produce aerial photograph. We collected 351 total images. We flew low enough that we had a 2-centimeter pixel resolution. Total flight time was about 30 minutes with a processing time of 1 hour and 18 minutes. And the map is located on our public viewer at the link on the slide. I mentioned earlier a couple times we're a small company, so to save money, our system is designed so that when we're not using the mapping platform or the mapping portal to process imagery, or if we don't have a user that needs to use our portal to view imagery, then we shut the portal down and just leave it off to save money. When we do use the portal, we typically leave it running until it auto shuts down at 7 o'clock each night. So that's one of the benefits of using the portal, is you can choose to let it run if you want on your own system so that the imagery is always available. But if you don't want to have that, and if you want to save some money, you can program the virtual machines to shut down at a certain time. If you go to the link and it isn't working on this slide, it might be because we have already shut it down for the day. So if you send me an email, and my email address is on the contact slide at the end of the presentation, I'll start up the service so you can view the imagery. So let's take a look at what the imagery looks like in the VerticalGeo UAS Mapping Portal. Here is the dashboard. You can see along the left column, we've got different capabilities. With the VerticalGeo UAS mapping platform, you have a dashboard, an interface for ground control points, and yes, you can use ground control points with the mapping portal. We have a Lightning Network connection for OpenDroneMap. We have some diagnostics and processing nodes, an administrators section, and just some basic about information. Just to the right of that, we have our list of projects, starting with the 2023-11-22 sellers photos, and working our way down through a few projects we've used it on recently. The first project I want to look at is the NCC project, and we'll view the map. This is the actual map viewer. We're just doing a live feed, and I'll zoom in. You can as we go around the viewer, you can, starting in the bottom left-hand corner, you've got a latitude and longitude readout of where your mouse is. Right above that is a scale bar in feet and meters. And right above that is a zoom in and zoom out button. And you can either zoom in by hitting the plus sign, or you can roll your scroll wheel on your mouse to zoom in or out, just like any other viewer. Right above that is a full screen mode. At the top of the viewer is the title of the project. Scrolling across the top of the viewer, you see the different outputs. We have orthophoto, which it's set on right now, a plant health, which measures the NDVI characteristics of the plants. We have a surface model. The surface includes buildings and things like that, but we'll go back to the orthophoto. Down the right-hand column, we have layers. You can add different layers. Then we have a base maps tool. We have a plus sign where you can add a shape file or things like that as an overlay to your viewer. We have the measurement tool, and then we have a contours tool. Down at the bottom right-hand corner, you have a 3D button. We did not collect much imagery on this, but we can still provide a very rough 3D point cloud for this project. You can zoom in and out just the same as anything else, and you can tilt, look at it from different angles. If you collect enough photographs from enough different angles, you have a very good 3D picture there. Go back to 2D. Here's the original photo again, and then next to that is the share button. If you click on that, it'll provide you with a link that if you click in the link, it will post that link to a clipboard, and you can paste it into an email and send it to someone, or you have an HTML iframe, so you can click on that and copy the code and paste it into a web page. So this is how the basic viewer looks. You can see this is based on Google Maps down in the very bottom right-hand corner. And if you move the map, it has all the annotations from Google Maps, so you can see the relative placement of where you're at in relation to everything else. If we go back to the dashboard, we can go back to the NCC project. I'll click on tasks and expand some of the other information on it. It was created on May 4th of 2023. It tells you the processing nodes we used and the options that we had turned on. The average ground sample distance is 1.93 centimeters. It'll tell you the area that we captured in square meters. how many points were reconstructed, how big of a file we have for our disk usage. And if I scroll down just a little bit, you can see we have the same options of view the map, view a 3D model. We can restart the processing, we can delete the project, and under download assets, if you click on that, we can download anything off of this list to send to a customer. So an orthophoto or a surface model, the quality report is quite good too. And our second project is a neighborhood mapping project from April 2020. Again, we had very few requirements. We collected the imagery so we could create a sidewalk layer and a building footprint layer for the local municipality. Originally, the aerial photography was not a deliverable for this project, but we liked the photography so much that we gave it to the municipality as just a good faith gesture, as an extra deliverable for them. We used the same bidirectional flight path we just did for the church project. We didn't need to collect for 3D point clouds, so we collected the fewest images we needed to for a total of 396 images. And we flew a little bit higher, so we had a 7-centimeter pixel resolution. The total flight time was again about 30 minutes with a processing time of about 28 minutes. And just like before, the map is located on our public viewer at the link on the slide. And just like before, if it's not up and running when you go to look at it, send me an email and I'll turn the server on for you and you'll be able to view the imagery. So let's go take a look at that project. So this is let me turn that back up. This is the Parkview Meadows task. So we'll go ahead and view the map for Parkview Meadows. You'll see it's a much larger area. We're looking at new neighborhoods for the local municipality and updating some new data for their geographic information system. So it's a much larger area. It has all the same capabilities as the church website did. We'll zoom in a little bit to one of the newer parts of the neighborhood here. Up at the top, we have two different things. We have the surface model, just like we had for the church. And what that does is it gives you like the first return, whatever the if there's a building on the earth, it will give you the surface model that includes the buildings. And then we have a terrain model, which takes all the buildings out. It should just be a flat terrain. You can see there's a few remnants, but it works pretty decent. So we'll go back to orthophoto. 3D, share, all those work the same as they did in the first project. So let's go to the dashboard and look at some of the information for Parkview Meadows. So this one was created March 28th. Tells you the processing nodes and all the different options we had on. Average ground sample distance of 6.65 centimeters. Much greater area. It's about 4 times the amount of area in square meters. We flew at a higher altitude, so the resolution isn't the same and the reconstructed points are less. And the disk output was much smaller. I didn't show you this on the NCC task, but here it shows you the amount of photos that you took and the amount of processing time that the project took. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. So I decided to put a pricing comparison of some other software in the presentation. This slide is a screenshot of DroneDeploy's pricing webpage that I took the other day. Last year we put together a proposal for the Army Corps of Engineers that would require us to do rapid drone orthophotography processing in the field without a server. So because we were going to be in the field, we would probably do it in a trailer or something like that. So we either needed, at that point, DroneDeploy or Pix4D surveying and mapping bundle with the cloud tied in, and it just proved to be too costly to do it that way. You can see the pricing for DroneDeploy on this slide. If you look at the individual pricing, when we first started DroneDeploy, individual pricing was free, and now it's $329 a month. We opted for a, I think it was an industry version, which I think is the same as the enterprise version is now. It includes those same capabilities. And when we started it, it was $99 a month. You can see now even the advanced version is $600 a month, and the enterprise and projects version is so expensive they don't even quote the price on the website. You have to contact them to find out what the pricing is. It was just too costly for us. So we decided to use the UAS mapping portal on our proposal. And that was about the same time we moved to the Azure cloud service, which meant we didn't have to be able to contact our physical server anymore. We could, as long as we had an internet connection, we could contact our cloud-based solution and process the aerial photography in the field. Here's Pix4D's, a screenshot of the Pix4D pricing webpage. These prices on this webpage this day, they're on a 42% sale. And you can see it was still $8,940 a year for the same capability. Last year when we did the proposal for the Corps of Engineers, it was $7,900. So it's gone up $1,000 over the course of a year. Super expensive. So I thought I'd put pricing in here for Maps Made Easy. It's much less expensive. In many ways, it's very similar to what we offer, but and a lot of people really like Maps Made Easy. I haven't had very many people say they don't like it, but it runs on a point system, and I can't tell you exactly what it will cost for any given project. The point system is similar to ArcGIS Online's token system, and when you call ArcGIS Online, even they can't tell you ahead of time how much it's going to cost. It's all based on tokens used for processing and tokens used for storage. So here's my best estimate as to what it would cost to produce an average size project, which includes about 720 images. So we copied, we took a screenshot of the Maps Made Easy pricing template and put that on the next page. You can see this is why it's a bit complicated to quote pricing for Maps Made Easy, because there's a matrix here. There's 4 different subscription levels from $0 to $45 a month, and each of them offer different pricing. Even looking at the matrix, I'd have to pull out my calculator and spend quite a bit of time trying to figure out what the pricing costs. So I can't really give you a good idea of the pricing, but it is cheaper than DroneDeploy and Pix4D. The UAS mapping portal pricing is very simple to figure out. If you own your own server, we can install the UAS mapping portal on your server, and you'll never have to pay for processing and storage of your UAS imagery again. The software is free, you just pay for the installation. If you don't have a server, you have 2 different options. If you have a cloud-based storage system, we can install the UAS mapping portal on your system, and you can process and store the imagery on your own cloud. This is the system we use. We only pay for imagery processing on a virtual machine and for imagery storing. If you don't have a cloud-based storage system, you can subscribe to our system. We will install a small cloud-based system with a UAS mapping portal installed on it as a turnkey system. Then you can process and store imagery on your own cloud using a subscription. Pricing-wise, if you own a server, we can install the UAS mapping portal on your server for a one-time fee of $1,000. We offer maintenance and help desk support for $99 a month. That means that you can call us or text us or email us for support anytime you need it. It comes to our office. It's hosted here in the US with English speakers, and we will even upgrade your software every time there's a new software update that comes out. If you don't have a server, you have two options. If you want to install it on your existing cloud-based system, it works very similar to the physical server option. We can install the mapping portal on your system for $1,000, one-time fee, and the same maintenance package we offer for $99 per month. Again, we would be available for help desk support, and we would upgrade your system to the newest one whenever an upgrade comes out. If you want to purchase a subscription to the UAS mapping portal, if you don't have your own server, that subscription includes a cloud-based storage system with the UAS mapping portal installed on it, and maintenance and help desk support for $199 a month. Here's our contact information. If you'd like slides to be emailed to you, I'll be happy to do that. Our website's on here. We also have quite a few posts on our Facebook page and our LinkedIn page. If you need to contact me because you want the server or VMs turned on so you can look at the orthophotography we have stored on those two viewers, this is how you can contact me. And if you'd like to send me your email address at the address shown here on this slide, I'll be happy to send you a copy of this presentation so you can have a copy of all the information and all the links. Thank you for your time.